Saladin was so brave and great a man that he had raised himself from an inconsiderable person to the Sultan of Babylon, and had gained many victories over both the Turkish and Christian princes. The monarch, having in divers war, and by many extraordinary expenses run through all of his treasure, some urgent occasion fell out that he wanted a large sum of money. Not knowing which way he might raise enough to answer his necessities, he had last called to mind a rich Jew of Alexandria named Melchizedek, who let out money to interest. Him he believed to have wherewithal to serve him, but then he was so covetous that he would never do it willingly, and he was unwilling to force him. But as necessity has no law, after much thinking which way the matter might be best be effected, he at last resolved to use force under some color of reason. He therefore sent for and received him in a most gracious manner, and making him sit down, thus addressed him: Honest man, I hear from divers persons that thou art very wise and knowing in religious matters. Therefore I would gladly know from thee which religion thou judgest to be the truest one, viz., the Jewish or the Mohammedan or the Christian. The Jew, truly a wise man, found that Saladin had a mind to trap him, and perceiving that he must gain his point should he prefer any one religion, after considering a little how best to avoid the snare, his invention at the last supplied him with the following answer: The question which your highness has proposed is very curious, and that I may give you my sentiments, I must beg leave to tell a story. I remember often to have heard of a great and rich man, who among his most rare and precious jewels had a ring of exceeding great beauty and value, and being proud of possessing a thing of such works and desirous that it should continue forever in his family, he declared by will that to whichsoever of his sons he should give this ring, him he designated for his heir, and that he should be respected at the head of the family. That son to whom the ring was given made the same law with respect to his descendants, and the ring passed from one to another in a long succession, till it came to a person who had 3 sons, all virtuous and dutiful to their father, and all equally beloved by him. And the young men, knowing what depended upon the ring, and ambitious of superiority, began to entreat their father, who was now growing old, every one for himself, that he would give the ring to them. The good man, equally fond of all, was at a loss which to prefer, and he had promised all, and being willing to satisfy all, privately got an artist to make 2 others, which were so like the first that he himself scarcely knew the true one, and at his death gave one privately to each of his sons. They afterwards all claimed the honor of a state, each disputing with his brothers in producing his ring, and the rings were found so much alike that the true one could not be distinguished. To law then they went, which should succeed, nor is that yet decided, and thus it has happened by my lord with regard to these 3 laws given my God the Father, concerning which you proposed your question. Every one believes he is the true heir of God, as his law, and obeys his commandments, but which is the right and uncertain, and like the manner of the other rings. Saladin perceived that he had escaped the net which had spread for him. He therefore resolved to discover his necessity to him, to see if he would lend him money, telling him at the same time that he designed to have done, had not been his discreet answer prevented him. The Jew freely supplied him with what he wanted. Saladin afterwards paid him with a great deal of honor, made him large presents, besides maintaining him nobly at the court, and he was his friend as long as he lived. This was The 3 Rings, written by Giovanni Boccaccio, narrated by Conan Stewart, for Tales Reawakened on YouTube.